Jeremy Clarkson thinks they're a complete waste of time. They should only be used for pulling articulated trailers up motorways or ploughs across fields. Chris Goffey, however, thinks they're wonderful. He uses one every day. He finds them economical, reliable and environmentally friendly. What are they? Diesels. So, who do they ask to settle the argument? The racing driver. Mind you, to soften the blow, they've given me 3 turbocharged models to evaluate. BMW's very latest 325 TDS, Citroen's Xantia and Ford's Mondeo. This 1.8 GLX costs £13,500 and I could have bought a 1.8 16-valve petrol engine version for the same money. Got an extra 26 horsepower, gone from 0 to 60 over 2 seconds faster. So it's simple. Diesels are slow, Jeremy's right, end of story. But Chris will quickly point out that it's not as simple as that. You've got to take into account depreciation and running costs. For these, we must look at our Quentin's new car guide. He reckons on the average owner keeping a new car for about 3 years and doing 40,000 miles before selling up. And at the moment, it's predicted that the diesel Mondeo will hold 52% of its value, while the petrol version only retains 44%, so their owners are £1,084 worse off due to depreciation. The diesel does 46.3 miles to the gallon, the petrol 36.8, and so they'll use an extra 223 gallons and another £500. So, although Clarkson is getting there quicker, Goffey is saving nearly £1,600 over 3 years. Put another way, given the same amount of money to spend over that 3-year period, Jeremy would only have about £12,000 to spend on his new car, so he could only afford the basic 1.6 16-valve, and that's slower than Chris's turbo diesel from 0 to 60. Advantage Goffey. So on balance, the diesel turbo gives better performance for the same cost. What about actually driving it? Well, there's not much response below 2,000 revs at all. You actually have to stir it up, get the revs up in order to get that acceleration. And with a diesel, you have to be careful because over 4,500 revs, the power suddenly drops off very quickly. And in fact, the red line on a diesel rev counter doesn't mean to say you're about to damage the engine. It means you're going to run out of power. Now, Citroën have an advantage in this diesel game because the French have been diesel crazy for years. Nearly 40% of new cars in France are diesels, while in Britain the figure is rising fast, from under 10% in '91 to nearly 20% now. This Xantia 1.9 TD SX costs £14,200, and you can get a 2.0i petrol version for the same money, which, as with the Mondeo, leaves the diesel standing on performance. But on our 3-year plan, Mr. Goffey saves £1,700 and once again forces our Jeremy down to a 1.6i SX, and that means that Chris leaves him behind. So, thus far the diesels are looking pretty good. I find this Xantia even better than the Mondeo. It's quieter, it's got a little bit more power and a fair bit more torque. It'll respond better at lower RPM when I accelerate without the need to change down. And although it's got the same sort of rev band as the Mondeo, it'll rev more freely and goes up beyond the 5,000 mark before really running out of power. Now that extra torque is something that caravan owners love about diesels. It means they can pull up hills without losing speed as the petrol versions do. BMW have been one of the last to give in to the call for diesel power, but they've quickly gained an excellent reputation for the smoothness and performance of their 6-cylinder 2.5-litre engine. Now, we've got a bit of a problem here. BMW have delivered the wrong car. There is no way this could be a diesel. It's got the most beautiful, smooth engine,
and it accelerates oh so nicely. The only indication, in fact, I have that it's a diesel is the fact that the red line on the rev counter is at 5,000 revs and not 7,000. It's got an intercooled diesel turbo engine, and that'll give it 143 horsepower, which is more per litre than any other diesel engine. I think we'd better book Jeremy a test drive.
Mind you, BMWs don't come cheap, and you'll need £22,250 to take away this 325 TDS, and for the same money you can have a 325i and £150 change. Over the 3-year plan, Chris saves over £3,000, and Jeremy will have to step down to the 320i to keep within budget. But this time he still has a car that will out-accelerate his diesel opposition. First impressions then seem to favour the diesels. On the 3-year plan I can outperform the petrol option with both the Ford and the Xantia. So, Goffey 2, Clarkson 1. But that's not quite the end of the story. This is the moment all diesel owners dread. The early morning start-up, the crackle of the cold engine and the cloud of black smoke it emits. This is the moment Clarkson's ego simply cannot handle. Well, perhaps not that bad, but they're still unmistakably diesels. I'm going to have to give a point for image to Jeremy. So that makes it 2 points all and an honourable draw. Mind you, there are other factors to consider. The servicing costs, insurance, reliability, and of course, that environmental issue. But my choice, well, I'm still a boy racer at heart. Sorry, Chris. Tell me, Jeremy, where is this King's Road?